This is The Bridge. Welcome to your favorite weekly show. We bring live engagements, one-on-one interviews in Community Indabas. The Bridge, supported by Project Vote 263 and produced by the Summer Now, is a platform to close the information gap and foster engagement between the elected officials and the electorate. We talk about, discuss on artificial intelligence, democracy 2.0, good governance, transparency, accountability, self-delivery, and constitutionalism. Our focus is on the young people, women, and people with disabilities. Support democracy by liking, subscribing, and following our channel, The Bridge.
So before we start, we want to know who is in here. So I want you to introduce yourself and tell us where you are coming from. You can tell us your ward or your constituency so that we know which residents are here.
tinotendai nekuuya kwamaita zuva ranhasi. Tinotendai nechinhu chamaita kuti tisangane sevagari vemu Harare City Council kuti tigotaura nyaya dzedu maenderano nekutunga kwakanaka yatingati good governance. So project yatinayo panapa is part of the project that we do as Project Vote 263. I'm sure taimboshanda tese kumashure tichitaura nyaya dzekuregister voter, kutaura kuti vechidiki ngavawanikwewo vachiparticipate munyaya dzekutonga kwenyika nematongo edu. I think takashanda tese zvizhinji tichiregista vanhu kuti vavote pamaconstituency akatitaurwa panapa esara. Saka tine vanhu vagara vachishanda tese. Now that my elections apera, tingaiti sei kuti vatakavhotera vaya vagoita basa ravo, uye basa revatakavhotera vaya nderekuita sei. So ndo nyaya dzatiri pano nhasi kuti tigotaura, ende tine nyanzvi ana mazvikokota vanokwanisa kutaura nyaya idzi. Isuwo vagari vemuno muHarare tichibvunzawo zviri kutinetsa kune vana mazvikokota vatinavo zuva ranhasi, handiti? Saka tinoda kuti tingozviomberera maoko nekugona kuuya kuno nhasi. Thank you so much. So handitoda kuti tipedze nguva yedu yakawanda nhasi, but what we are going to have today is a community indaba yachange tichitaura kuti fostering a culture of good governance, transparency and accountability. Tichange tina ana mazvikokota vanoziva nezvegovernance, tina ana mazvikokota vanozivawo nemamiriro emaguta, vanoshanda mumaguta vakaita semavhenda, vanotengesa mumastreets muno muHarare, vachange varipo pano vachitiudza kuti zvinhu zvakamira sei. Handisi kuda kuti waste futi time yakawanda. Tichangozoti takuda kunopedza program yedu launch an AI chatbot inoenderana nezvakapa netiko zvinotiona kuti mafoni kana kuti technology zvikuramba zvichienda kumberi. Saka isuwo tinofanira kuti zvishandise kuwedzeredza yatingati good governance, accountability, transparency nedemocracy, kuti isu tigoziva kuti basa rakanzura nderi unokwanisa kuzviona pafoni pedapa. So tinana mazvikokota futi vanoziva izvozvo zvekuti muchange makuziva basa rakanzura nefoni yenyu, muchange makuziva kuti MP wenyu ndiani nefoni yenyu. Zvese izvozvo zvichaitika panapa nhasi. Saka tinoda kukutendai nekuti masvika panana mazvikokota vachange vachigadzirisa zvese zvatingange zvingatinetsa. Handitoda kuwaste time yedu, regai ndisiyire mukana uno kune vachange vachitiita program yedu, angava ari moderator director reZimbabwe Women Against Corruption Trust. Ndimazvikokota vane makore mazhinji chaizvo vachiita zvejournalism. Saka ndinofunga kuti tichave nenguva yakanaka. Moderator,
Thank you very much, Tafazwa. for the warm welcome. I want to thank Mr. Matate and your team for making this event possible. And this Indaba is going to address the issues of self-delivery in Harare in the midst of cholera outbreak. And citizens are going to have the opportunity to participate in governance processes in their communities. And today we are also going to witness the launch of Artificial Intelligence Democracy 2.0, a project which aims to leverage the power of technology to enhance democracy and good governance. This project will also create a platform for citizens to access fact-checking tools or to counter misinformation, promoting active participation, and also fostering transparency and accountability. Today we are being guided by the following objectives: to promote good governance, transparency and accountability, fostering active citizen participation, and also creating a platform for citizens to engage their elected officials. This Indaba is coming at a time where Zimbabwe is battling with cholera outbreak, and this is a reminder of the ongoing vulnerability of communities of facing challenges related to public self-delivery in terms of access to water, to clean water and sanitation in their communities. And also let me say that this is not the first time where Zimbabwe is facing this pandemic of cholera. In 2008, a serious pandemic also broke out where at least 100,000 cases were recorded and more than 4,000 people lost their lives, according to Health and Human Rights Journal. In 2018 again, another pandemic broke out and at least 10,000 cases were recorded and 69 deaths were also recorded. And in all these pandemics, Harare is the most affected community. And the current statistics as of 14 February 2024, Zimbabwe has 24,525 suspected cholera cases, 71 confirmed deaths, and 457 suspected deaths. And in November 2023, the Minister of Health and some Harare officials, Harare City Council officials, visited Kwazana and inspected some shallow wells which were being used by residents. And these shallow wells were cited as the major drivers of cholera in the city. And from that visit, some of the observations were inadequate safe drinking water, contaminated boreholes, water and sewer conveyance, pipes are old and leaking as well as flowing on the roads. And we understand there were some recommendations that were made during that observations. And even during the previous pandemics, there were some observations that were made and recommendations. So our challenge is, or our question is, where are we going wrong? What is happening? What is needed to be done in order to rectify what is happening in the city? Are we going to continue having these cholera outbreaks in the city? So today we are convening this Indaba to find out what needs to be done and how as citizens we can also participate in making sure that our city is free from such pandemics in the future. So without wasting much time, I want to invite our first presenter, who is Mr. Mukasiri Sibanda. He is a governance expert and is going to give us his presentation concerning these issues of public service delivery in relation to governance issues. Mr. Mukasiri Sibanda, can you take the stage? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's a huge honor to be part of this important conversation. So that I will not prejudice part of my panel in terms of this conduct. I'm going to center in my presentation, mostly development financing. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah, so normally I don't start to present if I'm not assured that the Bluetooth has been connected successfully. Are we pairing our Bluetooth? Is it paired successfully?
yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So, think about it. Every time we talk about development, and this is a basic that you need to understand, whether it's from a personal perspective, whether it's a corporate perspective, whether it's a public perspective. Chinotanga is a development plan. My development priorities are for Hapana nataka kuchaka mali. Also means of data sene mali ya dinani. So equally so in personal level, you want to, the year is starting, you prioritize the things that you want to do. Or from a 5-year perspective, you prioritize what you want to do for the next 5 years or 10 years. That's what you start with. And then you ask yourself, if these are the priorities, how do I mobilize the resources to ensure that the priorities that I have come to fruition? So the basic that I'm trying to point out to is, we do what is called investment appraisal, whether at the personal level, at family level, at local government level, or national government. What we mean is that the fact that you are at the personal level, you might need to consult or make a decision on your own. At family level, it means that you need to consult the family members and agree what our priorities are. At local government level, it means that the residents of that particular locality should be consulted and have a sense of understanding, a shared understanding of what the development priorities are. And at national level, we are now aggregating our local development priorities and share them. What do they look like at a national level? Are we together? But I'm not here to talk about development priorities. And part of our constitution is very clear in terms of what are the development priorities. And these are guaranteed as a matter of the constitutional rights. It could be about right to education, right to water, right to health, right to a clean environment, right? But you should also note that the constitution has got a caveat, subject to availability or limitation of resources what available. So in this case, we want to talk about the resources, financing, public finance. Right. At personal level, what are the sources of your personal finances? Anyone can take that. At personal level, what are your sources of finance or sources of income? We want to work together. Vending. So you could have your own livelihood project. So if you are a vendor, you've got your own business enterprise that brings you income. So that becomes your income source. 1, 2. Hello? Right, farming. We are listing different types of business ventures that can generate income. But whatever business venture we are talking about, that's referred to as income. Are we together? From that business. But you could also be a worker. You understand? If you are a worker, your income becomes a salary. You could also be a pensioner. If you are a pensioner, your income that you will be earning after retiring becomes a what? A pension. You understand? You could also be owning property, getting rental proceeds. Or you can also receive donations. Some of us here have got relatives in diaspora, so they have remittances that they send. So you could also be receiving that. Or you can also borrow. All together. You can also borrow. If you want to invest, like, or you have got you want to bridge your finances, whether you want to build a house or buy a car, or even some of the day-to-day runnings, you can also what? Borrow. Are we together? So I wanted to mirror this so that at least you understand what public finance is like. So for public finance, remember in the Bible,
There was this question that was asked to Jesus by one about taxes. He says, "Is it lawful for us to pay tribute to what?" And what was the response? Meaning to say that when tax becomes the most reliable source of government revenue, because it's an obligation. You don't have to say I cannot pay. You have to pay and demand accountability later. You can't say you are not accountable, therefore we are not paying what? Taxes. So in terms of government revenue, the tax revenue becomes your most reliable, predictable, transparent and accountable way for government to raise what? Revenue. So if you look at our budget, national budget, from 2010 upwards, after dollarization, the multi-currency regime, you would note that the tax revenue is about over 90% of our budget. But just because government cannot raise sufficient revenue to meet its objectives that are set, it has to borrow. This is where the budget deficit comes in. And the government can also resort to what? To borrowing. Borrowing can also come, kanapata ma disasters, akafana na cyclone die, unplanned for ma disasters. Borrowing can also come down to a huge infrastructure outlay, like airport ya tunaona ichaadvertisiwa. Hapana mali yokutanga moto tungono waka ipapo. Even chule ukata salary yako, hauna mali yokutanga moto wakati imba kana stand. That's why pani mortgage facility. So borrowing debt becomes another way of government to raise what? Revenue. But we borrow because sometimes we raise enough tax what? Revenue. So kana mshida kuzvibataniza zviviri. Kune vanhuona kana takwereta nhasi mari chada kuzodini bata kwa mangwana handizvero. Asi tataura kuti government's most reliable source of revenue is tax, meaning to say that therefore debt is like a postponed tax obligation. Ichange yava kuita bond, ichange yava kuita a burden in future generation. Ndikutaura ndozamataura. Kana takuna kuraisa tax revenue nhasi, tine budget deficit, kana paita zvikwereti zviripo. Zvikwereti izvi zvakufanira kuti tadodha tax yamangwana ichange ichibhadharwa nefuture generation. Ndikubata ipapo. Unlike isusu tiri kuti isusu tiri kubata tax iya tabata futi debt iya taona zvatawana ma-proceeds. Ava vachanogona kusangana nacho tax yavo inogona kuva nedebt. Saka return in terms of their expectations panyaya yekupaya tax inenge pane padini tetado consumer zvamangwana. Vanoziva nyaya dzeconstitution yedu inotaura kuti pane nyaya intergenerational equity under the principles of constitutional principles on public financial management. The burden and benefits of taxation must be shared with future, between the current and the future what? Generations. No panouya concept liability. Haungati baba vanoti pavanofa unongosira vana chete navamwe dzidza rese rinongosara chingobhadhara zvikwereti. Kuzvinza makasirwa zvikwereti nani nababa venyu. Handizve hazvishandi zvakadaro. So tikutaura nyaya public finance and tatataura kuti tax. Tikati tax is the most significant, most predictable, most accountable way for government to raise revenue. And apart from tax, tine debt. Ndofunga munonzwa pachitaurwa zvino kuti hurumende haina kutinamira zvakanaka public debt rate. I think it seems about 17 or 18 billion thereabout. Mukare divide akara tiri 15 billion togona kuona kuti munhu umwe anenge achitokowa about $300 and something dollars. Handizve munhu umwe ari kutova mombe kuti titekonte kuti tiribhadhare. Apart from debt, hurumende yedu inokwanisa kureza mari through user fees. And I've seen some of you crying foul kuti hey, passport kwakaoma because you need to pay $170, $150, $170 kuti uwane passport yako. It's a way of government to raise revenue through my user fees. Another way of government to raise my user fees inyaya disposal of state assets. Nyangori pamba kuona womegwa dzimwe nguva unogona kutengesa mudziyo wako, unogona kutengesa imba, unogona kutengesa mota, unogona kutengesa TV. Handizve equally so state inogona kutengesa some of the assets of which vangu vachiona panyaya sovereign wealth fund mutapa. pane ma-assets akatopa nefund iyoyo, and part of it vanogona kumatengesa kuti government inoraise mari. Saka it's another way of raising revenue. Kana padiscover mineral resources, it's up to the government ingenuity kuti woita competitive bidding here, kuti the highest bidder ukwanisa kuisa mari yokuti akwanise kuti achere mandizvozvo revenue way, because ma-mineral resources are also part of the state assets. Imwe mari inouya inogona kuuya through official development assistance, inova ndo ma-donations anogona kachidini achiitika. Asi noukama hwatinahwo usina kumira zvakanaka nedzimwe nyika, zvinoreva kuti revenue source yedu ye-official development assistance kana kuti inonzi aid iri very very weak. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mukasiri, for the wonderful presentation, which is very, very detailed. You spoke about how government can have revenue through taxation and through debt and also through donations. I am sure we have questions.
Because at the heart of taxation, mukaverenga ndoda kuti muinde mungazoti pamwe ndonyanyoziva stereka hapana chandoziva, muverenga muBhayibheri, mukaverenga paconstitution yedu section 296 handizvere of principles of public financial management, ine number 1 inotaura kuti there must be transparency and accountability in the manner in which all fiscal affairs are conducted, meaning to say that our government raises revenue and our government spend that revenue. And kana muchida kutanga, the one red flag yamunoraisa ndokuti mukatarisa 2024 national budget, ma-public consultations akangoitwa 1 paredio 1 paZoom, hapana pakaenda kuvanhu kuti tinoda kunzwa kuti vanhu zvakamira sei. Handizvero, that's your one red flag. The second one ndokuti ma-MP enya makavhotera moda kutarisa kuti poma-debates anga achiuya pakatebuliwa budget pasiwa finance act inozopa kuti, because ma-tax changes anouya kure budget proposal, kana adebatiwa kuti awane effect, ano-effectwa through the finance what act. Saka panguva iyoyo vangani nenyu vakanga vaona kuti zvanga zvataurwa zvikazvisingagutsikani, either manyora mapresident kuparliament, mabatana namaparliamentarians enyu kwaudza kuti izvi hatisi kufananani nazvo. Handizvere, but mukaverenga futi ma-principles of public financial management anotaura kuti the burden of taxation must be equitably paid. That is the principle of progressive taxation. Uyo anowana mari yakawanda ngaanga achibhadhara mari yakadini yakawanda. But how do we get to know kuti zvazviripo without transparency? Zvinonetsa. Katikaona, for instance, I will give example kuti vanhu vatinoona pasocial media vachidoneta mota kana kuti vane dzimba dzinodhura nezvimwe nemota dzinodhura, data tine tax transparency taigona kuona kuti their wealth and also their tax zvinenge zvidini zvichiwirirana. Unogona kuwana kuti umwe munhu asi kubhadhara tax, kana hurumende isingakwanisi kuwana tax kune vanhu vane upfumi, inouya batsvaga tax kuna vanhu asina chini chavanacho. Ndopamunowana ma-regressive taxes ari indirect asinei, because ma-direct taxes, whether it's personal income kana kuti it could be your corporate income tax kana kuti personal income tax, your wages or your profits, ndio anofanirwa kucontribute more to the budget. But ukaona government yakuresort to indirect taxes such as value added tax, zvichireva kuti iwewe chero usina mari, chero une mari, tax yatobhadhara yakadini yakafanana. Saka ipapo panepa kunzi that's a regressive taxation, regressive tax. So in a minute ndichipedza because yatokwana ndana 4 minutes, so 3 minutes. In a minute tokupendera tikatarisa zvakare pa-principles of public financial management inotaura kuti there must be equity. Equity zvireva kuti ngaticonsiderei kuti those who earn more must pay what more as a proportion of their income, those who earn less must earn less as a proportion of what their income. Saka mukada kutarisa nyaya mamuchitaura yema-VAT namamiriro ari kuenda kutax kwedu, pane ka-element kokuva regressive, so that you can even argue kuti ma-violate constitution yedu. Thank you.